Hello, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. We're in the thick of interviewing as many nominees as we possibly can before the Underground Cinema Film Awards, which are just 3 weeks away. We're having some great interviews during the week, but I've been really looking forward to this one in particular. I'm joined this morning by Alan Hopkins, the director, and Husni Hafid, the producer of a fantastic film that was sent into us earlier on this year called Ogham. And I've already interviewed Deirdre Butler, who was the production designer. Deirdre has been nominated for an award at Underground Cinema this year. But this film has also been nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, and Best Score. So it's just a fantastic piece of filmmaking. And I'm delighted to have you guys with me this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
It's a great intro.
Not at all. Yeah, yeah.
Here, look, it's
just wanted to hype it up, Alan. That's what I want to do. Hype this one up because, in fairness, it deserves to be hyped up because the production values on this one are very, very good. When it came through to me a couple of months back, your Film Freeway submission is excellent. Nice poster, great trailer. Your notes are very good on it. But as soon as I started playing it, I thought this was fantastic, and that's what you want to do with a film programmer or a film festival's directors, to grab them from the very start and make sure that they watch it from start to finish without, sort of skimming through it. I watched it from start to finish and I was really blown away by this. And I love these sort of films as well, these Irish pieces as well. I mean, we got another really good one in called Wrecker by Martina McGlynn, which is also set during the famine as well. And I think it's an important piece of filmmaking. Can you just tell me what drew you to this storyline in the first place, Alan?
The good hard one, yeah. It's one of them ones like it's kind of, it was a very, very roundabout way of getting to the story. I had been kind of just getting locked into that news cycle of watching what was happening in the country at the time, and we've kind of seen it even escalate further with this with like far right marches and this kind of co-opting of the tricolour and this kind of like plastic nationalism, as I saw it, people that were not really engaging with what it really means to be Irish, or what it does it really mean to be Irish. So then I kind of was asking myself, like, what is Irishness, or what is the what is our national stories? And then I thought, well, look, it's the language one, it's our story, it's our song, and then that's where we kind of came into with the Ogham stone. It's that it's like one of the older forms of Irish, and it's like it couldn't be. It's like it's literally rooted into the ground. It's real. It's coming from the land itself, and kind of like the way like Moncton McGann's like listen to the land speak, but like engaging with your nationalism through song and arts, and not this kind of like waving songs and giving out to immigrants and not understanding your own history. So that was like the initial start point, and then from there, then it just this guy Owen became like a kind of a cipher for the whole thing. He's a storyteller and a singer, and he's this like receptacle of the language and song, and this idea of what we lost during the famine years, and how many stories that just had a full stop at the end of them because they didn't get to be passed down to the next generation, and kind of how we're still dealing with that loss. That's a roundabout way how I got there.
Very good. The title was very interesting as well. So for people that don't know what Ogham is, Ogham stones, you'd see them around the countryside. They go back a long time, and they're written with Old Irish as well. They're almost like lines inside of the stone. Can you tell me just why did you pick Ogham as the title of this film?
I know Husni will hate me for this because he's the producer, and I'm someone that always I like punchy one word titles,
me too.
And it's one of them like these things. Like our first film was called Willetton's Way. We had another one called Jungle, another one called Sleeper. I don't like them to be like I kind of go a bit obtuse with the with the title, but it was part of that story. It was that idea that like I know it doesn't like necessarily strictly relate back directly to the story, but I felt that that's what it was in reference to. It's about the old Irish and like what it really means to be Irish, basically. I had actually heard a story, like apocryphal story about that. On the Ogham stones itself, it could be information that where the next town is and stuff like that. Which I thought was like kind of more about what it meant to be Irish, about like where you can find shelter. Now, subsequently, for more research, I think that's not really the case. I think a lot of them just translate to people like that they own the area, or that it's their, this is their land or whatnot. But I just that idea kind of stuck with me, and I kind of kept that into the title.
Husni, when you got the script for this, when you guys started chatting about this, I mean, this film is challenging. It's a difficult one to shoot. Did you want to embrace this one, or did maybe you could tell us as a producer how you tackled this one?
So basically, Alan has an amazing writing ability, which is kind of the first thing that always draws you. Is like, it was such an amazing script, and instantly you just connect with the piece. And then I think what his second really great skill is his ability to pitch things is not going to be hard at all. So he'll just be like to me, we'll get it done. It'll be super easy. Everything's going to be fine. It's just going to be this one character. It's barely going to be anything. And then finally he comes with all of his ideas, and we're thinking, oh, but he wants to make a movie that's never really been seen before and has so many different locations. But honestly, it's kind of, I always find them just more, there's always going to be challenges on film. So you just kind of pick what's your interesting challenge at the time. I think this one really, it was picking the locations and really trying to find locations that were like, we had the idea of Owen going through this massive journey. So it had to feel like he was going to go through this massive journey. So we had to find locations that didn't really look like each other. And we had decided on the Caves of Kesh in Sligo. And we wanted there to be a forest aspect, but we couldn't really find anything in Sligo that was usable. So we ended up shooting half of it in Wicklow as well. So kind of just the scheduling was the most difficult aspect to me this time. Just being able to have enough time in each location and be able to successfully move all the crew, because a lot of the locations were so remote, we had to actually get in quad bikes to actually move all the cast and crew and equipment up to them. They were so remote. But I think what we're really proud of as well is that it doesn't feel like anything else we've seen in a short film. We wanted to kind of make something very unique. So we're just really, really happy we got what we did.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric as well. What time of the year did you shoot this?
We actually, funny enough as well that you say that, is that we wanted this kind of, like, we had an idea in our heads of what, like, the weather and what was going to be, but we shot in early February, and then it was just really unseasonably warm. So like, it just was completely different to what we kind of initially planned. But Piers really took it in stride. I mean, like, he ended up using it to our advantage, and then he was able to shoot these beautiful vistas in Sligo. And we had enough of the weather to kind of give it that we needed to give it this really atmospheric without.
I think one of the philosophical discussions we had as well is, like, no matter how bad things get, did they not have blue skies in 1847? It's like that thing, in the color grade Mexico, and it's always yellow. It's like the blue skies happened, and bad things could be happening underneath the blue sky. So I think we went with that, and I think that it kind of works with us as well. We had rain too, and like, that really brought out the browns and the greens and the kind of the lushness of it, which because I've seen a lot of stuff, like, yourself, like with famine periods pieces, that they can end up just being color graded like grey, and like everybody's out in Connemara on a grey rock somewhere, and it's like there was no color in the country, or they seems like they're all referencing each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do. I remember shooting my own feature film as well. We had to shoot it at a particular time of year. It had to be shot in February. It was because of the sky, the look. We were looking for those greys. It was really important to us. I mean, it wouldn't just. I don't think if with your own film, I talk like the forest scenes, I thought in particular were fantastic. The mud track was great. Pierce's cinematography is great. He captured it really, really well. Did you collaborate much with Pierce before? And how much work did you do in advance with Pierce on this?
Well, with this one now, we did a lot. Like, I have to say, like, I'm Pierce, in fairness to him, like, he like, anybody who knows that he's an amazing cinematographer, and that he's got Saipan coming out in January. He's working on features. He's done westerns. He's kind of done everything, and he was so good with his time. Like you, I come from a cinematography background, so I would have done a lot of lookbooks and reference images, and tried to just make sure that I could share as much as possible, so we knew exactly what I was looking for. We did a lot of location recce's. We did video boarding so we had a really strong idea going into it. We knew where we were going to shoot and how we wanted it to look. And then he was just great with his time. A lot of Zoom calls, a lot of like sharing imagery back and forth, and film references, and massive watch lists. But like I do that with every film. And but he was great. It was great that he had a similar enthusiasm, shall we say. Like the two of us were able to, like, you never know, sometimes you could hire someone and they might just get them for the week that you have them, and a couple of emails here and there, but he made himself really accessible, and I think it shows in the final product.
Yeah,
and
he definitely does.
Just helping us, like, even with the scheduling. So he would tell us like what shots would be the best time of day to shoot each thing, and just that sort of real meticulous information was so helpful to us. And really, I think you can see it on screen.
Yeah, like one of the best things, like that's what he brought, is like let's utilize our sunrises and sunsets and our magic hour, and that was music to my ears as a Terrence Malick fan. So that was just such a great, like an impactful suggestion that really made the work a lot better.
Yeah, at that time of the year, you're conscious of light as well. You're losing the light earlier as well in the day, so I would imagine they were early starts as well.
Yeah, and we had short days, like for something that was shot entirely exterior. We didn't half make our lives hard, I gave Husni an awful task of trying to schedule that. Like, we were shooting all exteriors on short days, and there was a lot of movement. I think, like, it's one of those things. It's I suppose, like, we're just naive, I think. And I think sometimes you get the best work out of that. I think looking back, we probably wouldn't do it again in the same way. We'd think, oh, geez, you couldn't do that. But I think we just had a bit of gumption about us that we couldn't power through. I think it's.
And look, I mean, honestly, we like, you can see, it's like we always want each department to be able to shine. And I think, thank you so much for nominating so much of our crew, but it's just, everybody had their space, and that's kind of what gives us the energy, is when you're working with such a crew, such a high caliber. The scheduling, it can be difficult, but they're such pros that it just made it such an easy and beautiful, like, time to work on it.
I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to Deirdre the other day, your production designer. I mean, she's an absolute pro on this. I was hugely impressed by it, because it's not easy, asking for, the amount of pieces of furniture that you guys wanted in the shoot along that track. It must have been very, very difficult. Now, it seemed to be very easy for her. She's in the game a while. She knows exactly what she was doing. It must have been great to have a production designer like Deirdre working alongside you on this one.
Yeah, well, like Deirdre and our team, like they obviously, like, they did a phenomenal job, and we're like really happy. You had Magda, Keelan, and Jesse and Deirdre. They all worked together so well and kind of complemented each other in different ways. There was a lot of moving parts, like even like the like the piano that's in the driveway.
Yeah.
I remember myself and my brother actually collected that from. We bought that on Dundee, and I remember we had to go down and collect it and launch it into a van about a week before production. And it's one of these things, like, it just kind of, we, like, myself and Husni, we're always trying to expand on what we like. We had a decent budget on this, to be fair, but we always wanted to make it feel like we had more. So, like, anything that we could do, like that driveway sequence, that was difficult to dress, but like the team, like I said again, like everybody brought their own bits and like had access to different parts. So just to pad it out, which was like just insane. The weight of some of the stuff, like even getting the piano into position on that path, like we didn't give ourselves an easy day. But like the production design team, like we some of the stuff, like even like you said, the bit on the forest roadway, those carts, they all had to be brought in, like handballed in. We pushed them in about half a mile down this track, and it was about up to our ankles in mud, and everybody kind of pitched in really early, like dragging these things in, and they all went in and out on the same day, which was just an amazing
he does like carts. Ben Good was such a joy to work with. He's the fella who brought the carts on the day.
Ben Good, yeah. He's the man with the carts. If anyone's ever looking for carts, definitely reach out to him.
Yeah.
He's got everything.
When your typical audience, when you have an audience watching a film like this, you know that aren't filmmakers. They're watching it from start to finish, and they're enjoying it. They don't be thinking about things like that. When I'm watching the film, and when other filmmakers are watching it, what's going through my mind is, oh my God, how did they do this? How did they get all that stuff up there? You know, a filmmaker's mind, or anybody that's, you know, involved in the indie scene at the moment, when they first watch it, that's all that's going through your mind. There's a million questions. How did they do this? How did they do that? Where did they source this? Where did they source that?
Yeah.
And that was my mind when I started watching this.
The big thing for us was was just crew buy-in. Like, I think was one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
I think everybody that came on, they really, really brought their A game, and they were like we said. I know we just kept saying it's like the conditions might be difficult. We're outside, it's cold, it's muddy, but I think everybody kind of knew that if we could capture the things we were, like when they arrived on the locations we're in, they were like, oh, this is going to be really special if we can pull this off. So we didn't really, thankfully, we didn't have anybody complaining or anything. Everybody was just came in and did their job really well. And like you said, like I think we were conscious of that as well as filmmakers. We were kind of going, can we make something where we go, how did they do that? Or how did they get up there? Or like you said, you know what goes into the sausage. You could kind of like, you're looking in your mind, you're going, geez, that's a lot of gear. That's how did they get this, and how did they drag that all the way out into the middle of nowhere? Like, and even like that, like being like, again, being selective with the locations, that they weren't just a pine forest in the Wicklow Mountains where like there's been 20 music videos shot last year, like trying to play in places that had like broadleaf, native forests and stuff, which was and again difficult to find, unfortunately. But
you've also got a best costume nomination as well. I think Kate O'Doherty did a brilliant job on the costumes. Each one of the characters looked superb, right down from Owen to the British soldiers. Top class, well done. She put a lot of work and research into it as well.
She did an amazing job, and not only that, like me and Husni were just talking before we even came on, and we were saying like it's one thing to do like period, and you can go to like the Abbey or something and get period accurate stuff, but you can't get a piece of chocolate on it. You can't do anything. So all our costumes had to be, they had to be rolling around the muck and be damaged and stuff. So she created them from the ground up, and we had a lot of discussions like about like we wanted Owen's like iconography, for want of a better word, but he wanted his costume to be like a character. Like if you saw, the way I was kind of describing is, if you saw a doll of Owen in the shop, you know what I mean? You go, oh, that's him. Or if you saw his silhouette, you would know that character immediately from the way they're draped with the long jacket. And there is bits in it where he comes out of the cave in the silhouette, and you just know exactly who it is. But she just did an amazing job, because a lot of that stuff like it is her creation. She blew us away every time. Like we would push a bit more, because when you would see like a lot of like if someone says close your eyes and see a famine film, you see people like with tattered shirts, and their trousers are down to here and they're in their bare feet, and then but like a lot of the stuff that we find is not photographs from the era, but when we went into National Archives and you could get stuff from like the 1850s onwards, 1860s, and people are kind of dressed nearly like steampunk. It's nearly like hand-me-downs from high society in London. It's kind of made its way west, and I hadn't seen that on film really. Like so, that was kind of a challenge to her. Like let's try and do something that feels different, and everything was texturally different than what we'd seen before. But she did a great job. She really, really just,
we're always looking to, everybody really just elevated the piece. We had certain ideas, but it's always like, that's almost the most beautiful part of the collaborative part of filmmaking, and especially on this piece, it's like everybody kind of brought their own thing to the project and really just made it better.
Yeah, we're just so, we're really, really fortunate. Like in every department, we had like Hannah Sullivan came on, and she did the makeup design. She did that wound on the leg. And she worked really closely with Kate on the look. But like she like Hannah works like on features generally. She'd come off Cocaine Bear, and where they'd done a lot of wounds and stuff like. But like just had like absolute pros. So we had Kate, we had Pearson. Like these people were like generally working on features, and then they were coming to work on this short with us. So we're kind of pinching ourselves that we could assemble this crew that they engage with the work, like they read it and signed on. I was very happy.
This film has very little dialogue, so with a film that has little dialogue, it becomes reliant, especially on the sound design, and the score. And again, it's been nominated for Best Score Award. Gemma Doherty has been nominated this year. She did a fantastic job, and so did the sound design, post sign, and location sound guys did a fantastic job as well.
Yeah, like with that one again, that's another one with with Gemma. Like I was a massive fan of her work as an artist. She's in Saint Sister, so like I came to her as a fan, and then she's did an amazing job of composing. She had done a documentary. I think it's Camera Tripod Bicycle is the name. I don't know if you've seen it. Excellent documentary, but she did this. She was composer on that, and she was just an absolute dream to work with. That's one of those ones where like I feel like just insanely lucky that, because like every time I watch the film when we go to a festival or anything like that, the score is just so beautiful. Like I'm just kind of, I forget sometimes, like this is on my she's like, I've got such a high caliber person to work with me, like, you know. I just think she's brilliant, and she was so easy to work with, like for someone with her experience. And I'm not very musically minded, so it's not like I can kind of chat in you know, in musical terms. So she was just so open to me, and like if I just given suggestions or how I would trying to give really bad references, I wouldn't feel as confident as I would when I was like giving like cinematic references for like imagery. But she was really, really patient with us, and just blew it out of the water. Like I really think like the score is one of the strongest elements of the piece.
Yeah, surround yourself with great people, and the end result is superb, and that's what's happened there.
They make it, yeah. They make us look good.
Shout out the sound designer Leon Henry, who did an amazing job as well. And then we actually got the Foley Lab, Emer Doyle, to do a Foley pass on it as well, because I think we always think that obviously the old Steven Spielberg sound is half the picture, but we really always want to just make sure that, because a lot of times you don't even realize why something doesn't feel right, and it's actually the sound. So we just always want to make the sound just as much as important as what's going on screen, really. And our sound team was just absolutely phenomenal on this one, and did such an amazing job to complement the score and to complement the film.
You're on your festival journey at the moment. How are the audiences taking the film now at the moment?
I've been really taken aback, actually, because we've got to luckily I've got to travel a fair bit. We've just come back from the Lucca Film Festival in Italy, and I think the film is performing so well internationally. I think because of events that are happening now, like it's very hard to watch the film and not see parallels between our film and then what's happening in Gaza, and then people just being at the tip of colonialism. And it's kind of this thing. It's unfortunately it's a tale as old as time. Like we understand it really strongly in Ireland because it happened to us, but we can also empathize when it's happening to others. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why the film is doing so well. And even since we've made the film, I've kind of gone back and reappraised it as well with audiences, and people have approached. I was approached by a man after one of the screenings at the Boyne Valley Film Festival, and he had come over from Ukraine. And he was saying when he had left his home, they were driving down the motorway and they had come across. They were just like people's possessions were discarded on the thing. And he said when he was watching our film, that just reminded him of that. And he just said that it was so, like, he felt it was very well observed. But I was just very touched, like, that someone that's coming from a conflict that they're finding something in the work and it's speaking to them. I'd look like we'd always said, myself and Husni said there's a Gaza film festival that we'd love to screen at that at some point. Hopefully in the future where we can get ourselves over and show it with an audience there. But
I was talking to Cody Farron yesterday. Cody directed Animal, which
Animal's
is
an
another,
excellent film. Yeah.
Isn't it? It's brilliant. It's just super film. And Cody and I were chatting about it yesterday, and one of the things I said to Cody was, it's such a brilliant film, but such an important piece of filmmaking that I was saying maybe this is something that should be shown in schools. I really think some of the short films that have been made, and indeed some of the indie features that have been made by Irish filmmakers, should be shown in schools. In fact, you could have a theme. You know, I was talking to Cody about it yesterday. You know, we were saying you could actually have, say, 4 or 5 short films. The theme is bullying. You'd have a Q&A. You talk to the filmmakers about the film itself, and indeed, going to what it's like to study filmmaking, going to college and that sort of thing. So you'd make a big sort of day or an afternoon and a half day out of it. This is a film I think that would go down really well in school. To be honest with you, it's something that.
I think shout out to Cody, because I think Cody's an excellent filmmaker. I've watched all of his films now, and he's like Animal is just amazing. And like you said, it's got such a strong story. I think that'd be great. I'd love to do that now. I'd do a little tour. I could go back to my old school and be like, look, I actually did something with myself. So,
in the gym with the big screen behind
you. It'd be like a full circle moment if we could go back. But but honestly, I see your point though. I do think there's I've been kind of all the festivals in Ireland over the last year. I've kind of been to them and seen some really strong work like that, be it about bullying or even like again with our thing, just engaging with like the loss of language and our own history, and then like you said, like a bit of a Q&A or a bit of an introduction. But I think there's a lot that can be taken, especially from shorts, because I think a lot of times the push with features is they have to be more commercial, so they can't really talk about some of the things that you see in shorts or some of the topics that get covered. So I do find like shorts can be a strong way to engage with those kind of issues that you just don't see like in a feature film.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a chat about this sometime. Maybe there could be a collaboration here with some of the filmmakers that have been that we know that have been nominated over the years. To have,
please.
To
get involved.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, I could just see us a merry band of filmmakers traveling around in a bus like Ken Kesey or something. Yeah. It'd be excellent.
So what's next, guys? What have you got up your sleeves for next? Are you working on anything together, or are you doing something?
So we set up our own production company, HAL Pictures, and we're always kind of developing projects and stuff like that. But we're actually we're in pre-production now on the next film. So we're doing another focus short, which is supported by Screen Ireland, and that's filming last week of January. So we're our shoulders to the wheel there now. We're really pushing. We've got all our HODs in place. We're casting, so it's all the usual steps. But like it's going really well. I think like every time we do one, it gets a little bit easier. We're kind of learning as we go, so we feel a little more confident every time. And we're looking forward to implementing the lessons we learned on Ogham and make a better film this time as well. Like, or at least we're improving all the time.
Fantastic. Well, look, guys, I wish you the very best of luck on the next film. I can't wait to see it when it's ready. Don't forget to send it in to us. And listen, congratulations on nominations this year. I think it's great that your crew have been, have got the recognition, because you can see, I could certainly see it. The crew have put a huge, including you guys, but crew have put a huge amount of work into this.
They did. We can't thank them enough. Everybody did an amazing job, and like it's just great. Thank you to you guys, because I think what you're doing as well in recognizing these crew positions and it really, like even this now, like just being able to come on and talk about the work, it's excellent that you have this platform, and I really really appreciate you having us on, and thank you again to the crew. They just did an amazing job. I really hope even if they don't win an award, I think like the work speaks for itself. They've done really great stuff, and we're really really happy with them and appreciative.
Well, here's, you may or may not know this, but here's this is a fact. The people that are watching these films, our panel, are international. They're not Irish filmmakers at all. We, at the very start of Underground Cinema, we had an Irish panel. I was involved in the panel at the time. But as the years went by, it was becoming very difficult for us to make a non-biased decision, because Ireland is so small and everybody knows everybody. And we're all great friends. And it's very hard to actually pick a film. Alan Hopkins, a great mate of mine, I'll have to give him a nod. We can't not give him a nod. So we cut ourselves off completely. So what we did, and that was about 6 years into the run, we had already been screening international films for 6 years. So I started contacting the filmmakers that I've been dealing with all around. So the panel is, they're an international panel. So they've no idea who you guys are at all, to be honest with you. So
that kind of makes it exciting for you guys as well, I suppose.
Yeah, Here we go.
There we go.
Alan, I'm sorry, my internet dropped out.
No problem. No problem.
But look, sure, we can. I can fix it in the edit, as they say. So there's no
The
problem.
Atlanta Falcons.
I was just explaining about the panel, and I can't remember how far I got. Did I tell you it was an international panel?
You were telling us it was an international one because everybody knows us here in Ireland.
Yeah.
We were getting
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, yeah. So we've a panel of international judges that are looking at these films right way through the year. So we start in January right up to September. So they're continuously watching everything. They come back to me with notes, and eventually they come back to me in September with the films that they feel should be nominated. If they can't decide, then we'll step in and help them. But this year was sort of overwhelming. We got the nominations in fairly quickly, and I think it's great that we have an international panel because they don't know you from Adam. They've no idea who Alan Hopkins is, or they've no idea who Cody Farron is. They're just taking it on the strength of the performances, the direction, the storyline, and I think that's great. So you're getting a very honest selection and honest nominations, which I think is really important. So well done on that.
Yeah,
thank you. Look, and well done to yourself. Like it's really proud to be nominated amongst all the other great films that are there on the night.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be our biggest one yet. I can't wait for the night. It was absolutely fantastic last year. No doubt it's going to be great this year. There's a great buzz about it. So fingers crossed. We've no idea who's going to win. We don't know sometimes till the very last minute. So we've no idea. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. I think you did a fantastic job, and I wish you all the best of luck and your crew on the night of the awards.
Thanks very much, Dave. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem. Well, thanks a million, guys, and I'll chat to you soon.
Perfect.
Take care.
Take care.